Today, I'm going to explain a sci-fi action movie called Real Playing Game. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie opens as billionaire Steve Battier arrives at a private airport in an undisclosed location. He is then received by a female chauffeur in a futuristic-looking car. They soon reach the head office of Real Playing Game, R.P.G, an organization that specializes in geriatric neurology. There, Battier meets Mr. Chan, the head of operations, and the two have a conversation. It is revealed that the organization has invented a program that can transfer all the memories from one brain to another. This has allowed them to temporarily transfer the mind of an old person into a young body, essentially beating old age for a few hours. In this process, old men and women are put in a medically induced sleep while all the information from their brains are transferred to younger bodies. They are then put in an artificially simulated environment where they can experience living in their new young bodies. However, Mr. Chan has come up with an exciting twist to this process. The organization currently has 10 wealthy customers who are participating in the program. Instead of doing simple, everyday stuff in the simulated reality, these participants will take part in a game where only one of their younger bodies will make it to the finish line. They will experience real pain through their young bodies when getting killed off from the game, but their actual bodies will be unharmed and alive. Only the winner will get to experience the full 10 hours of youth inside the game. Battier expresses his concern over this, but Mr. Chan points out that the other 9 participants have already agreed to it. The old billionaire is then given the chance to agree to the terms or quit and go back. Battier thinks for a while and eventually agrees to enter the game as his life is too boring anyway. Adrenochroming has really lost its touch. After depositing the fee, he is taken to a room full of several young bodies. Battier chooses a handsome tall man, after which he goes inside a machine. His old body is then put to sleep while his mind is transferred to the young body inside the game. In the next scene, Battier wakes up in what appears to be an abandoned colony of residential homes. He remembers who he is, but has no idea how or why he came to this strange place. Other participants also begin to wake up in different parts of the colony and their young bodies. Just like Battier, none of them have any idea how they ended up here, and they didn't even get to choose where they were dropping. As Battier inspects the area, he hears someone approaching and quickly picks up a stone for self-protection, but it turns out to be contestant number 2, a beautiful young woman. She asks if he knows what this place is, to which he responds that he has no idea. Just then, the young girl notices that he has a stone in his hand and gets a little scared. She further asks if he knows who he is and how he ended up here. The young Battier cautiously says that he fully knows who he is, but has no idea about any of the rest of it. He then drops the stone and suggests they try to find a way out of this place. A few minutes later, they run into 2 other contestants. Number 3, a young woman dressed in jeans shorts who is currently confronting contestant number 4, a young playboy. Number 3 has a stick in her hand and warns everyone not to come close. Despite number 2 reassuring that all of them are just as lost as her, she doesn't listen and runs away. Contestant number 5, who had been watching them from a nearby building, joins them shortly after. As the group is discussing, they suddenly hear a scream and run towards it. They soon come across contestant number 6, wailing in agony with blood all over his left ear. He reveals that a crazy woman carrying a stick attacked him before running away. After tending to his wounds, the group then goes back to the abandoned buildings to search for any clues about the place. Soon afterwards, the rest of the contestants also join them. Number 7 is a young Asian man. Number 8, a blonde with blue eyes. Number 9, a white woman with straight hair. And number 10, a light-skinned black woman with curly hair. All of them then head towards the tallest building in the colony to see if they can find anything meaningful there. But upon reaching it, they are greeted by a hologram of Mr. Chang, who introduces himself as the gamekeeper. He reveals that they are currently inside a game, while their real bodies are back at R.P.G's building. Mr. Chang adds that these are not their real bodies, and they are all old people. But not just any ordinary old people. They are rich, powerful, and famous individuals who paid to be in this game so they could experience being young once more. The gamekeeper then gives a quick rundown of their real identities without telling them who is who. There's a Chinese billionaire, Li Mang, ex-KGB Russian tycoon Boris Znavrev, Hollywood star Kate Barrington, Colombian playboy Carlos Santiago, artist Yasmin Nova, Norwegian princess Alice Jelabaka, billionaire Steve Battier, reclusive lesbian singer Mariah Molyneux, football star Jorge Valdez, and African dictator Okot Ba. The holograms of these people appear in the room, and on their chests are badges with all the information about them. But the mood of the group darkens when Mr. Chong announces the rules of this game. Only one of them will be alive at the end, and one of them must die each hour, or the game will randomly eliminate a participant. They can only kill when they know who the real person behind the body is. Assumptions based on gender and race can be misleading, as there are only 4 females in reality, but 5 women in the game. Someone wanted to touch boobies. Moreover, the act of wrongfully identifying the hologram of the killed participants will be punished by death. After telling the participants that they have less than an hour to go for the first death, the gamekeeper vanishes, leaving the 10 holograms behind. The group is shocked by the sudden influx of information, so they decide to find a way out of this abandoned colony. They head out of the building and walk through the surrounding forest. After a while, they arrive at a wall, which seems to be lining the entire colony. The wall does not look that tall, so number 5 suggests going over it. However, Battier stops him and throws a wooden branch at the wall. His intuition turns out to be correct, as the branch is instantly charred to ashes, showing that the area is guarded by high voltage. Following this, the group has a short discussion, and they eventually decide to wait until the first hour passes. That way, they will be sure if the game really kills the contestants, or if the game master was simply bluffing in order to make them comply with the rules. They then go their separate ways, and several smaller cliques start forming within the group. The blonde and beautiful number 8 makes out with number 5 near an abandoned swimming pool, while Battier and number 2 also stay together. Elsewhere, the 2 women, number 9 and number 10, stroll by the wall and start flirting with each other, but when they begin to kiss, number 10 notices that something is off. She begins to question whether the person she's making out with is actually a woman in real life. "You're using way too much tongue." "No, you're not using enough." She then corners number 9 and asks her the meaning of a slang that only a lesbian would know. When the latter has no answer, number 10 pushes her against the electric wall. The high voltage running through it ends up killing her instantly, and her body is reduced to a black, charred mess. Meanwhile, Battier and number 2 have been watching all of this unfold from a distance. They now know that the first kill of the game has been made. Number 10, on the other hand, rushes back to the tall building, where the holograms are kept. She correctly guesses the real identity of the contestant she just killed. Turns out, it was Jorge Valdez, the football star who was posing as a woman. He must have been tired of playing with balls. Soon afterward, everyone gathers back at the hologram room. Number 10 lies, pretending as if she had no idea who killed Valdez. Battier and his friend also play along and do not reveal her deed. Thus, the matter fizzes out for the time being, and everyone goes their own ways. The psychopath, number 10, now sets her eyes on number 3, the young woman in jean shorts. She engages her in conversation, saying she can be trusted. On the other hand, number 6 sees the charred dead body by the wall. Frightened by the sight of such a horrific death, he decides to take matters into his own hands. He grabs a sharp stone from the ground and goes towards the hologram building, where number 4, 5, and 8 are talking to each other. He then sneaks up behind them, grabs number 8 by the throat, and holds her hostage using the sharp stone. As he had seen her making out with number 5 earlier, he guesses that they may have exchanged their true identity. He then asks number 5 to reveal who they really are, but to his surprise, number 5 seems uncharacteristically calm and refuses to say anything. This enrages number 6, so he drags the blonde woman in front of the holograms and begins guessing who she might be. He says that since number 8 immediately went for the strongest man in their group, she must have been a female actress who is lonely in her real life. He then brutally finishes her off, believing that her real name is Kate Barrington. But his prediction turns out to be incorrect, and as soon as he touches Barrington's hologram, he too dies immediately. It turns out that number 8 was actually the artist Yasmin Nova. The hologram of Okotba then vanishes, confirming that number 6 was the African warlord. In the meantime, Battier and number 2 make out in an abandoned building. He gets so tired from the ordeal that he ends up falling asleep soon after. Using this opportunity, number 2 grabs a tree branch and goes to bash his head. But Battier wakes up in the nick of time and engages in a scuffle with her. He soon gains the upper hand and inadvertently pushes her into a nearby well. This results in number 2's immediate and tragic death. Although shocked, Battier realizes that he now must guess her identity, so he goes to the hologram room. He also theorizes that the woman was Hollywood star Kate Barrington because she seemed rude and pampered. Fortunately, Battier's guess turns out to be true, and his life is spared for now. On the other hand, number 3 and number 10's makeout session also goes south, as the latter tries to choke her partner to death. But number 3 manages to wriggle out of the situation and even injures her rival's arm. A frightened number 10 then rushes back to the hologram room where the young Asian man has been hiding for some time. He confronts her, revealing that he knows she killed the football star Jorge Valdez. The cunning woman tries to come up with an excuse, but he suddenly pushes her. This causes her to fall down 2 stories and eventually die. The Asian man then correctly chooses her hologram. She was the singer Maria Molyneux. Following this, all the remaining members gather near the abandoned swimming pool. They talk to each other and agree that they should let the clock run out until the next hour passes by, but this piece lasts barely a few minutes, as number 7, the Asian guy, thinks he knows the real identity of number 3. He doesn't reveal how he came to know this information, but he immediately goes after her, while the others simply watch. Number 3 runs into the hologram building, desperately searching for a place to hide. She soon comes across a small nook, where she finds a box labeled as bonus. Inside it is a pistol and 9 bullets, and some Viagra. She then loads 1 bullet in the chamber and comes out to face number 7. The scene abruptly shifts to the swimming pool, where the 3 men, Battier, number 4, and number 5, are talking to each other. Suddenly, they hear a gunshot coming from the hologram building. Impatient to know what happened, number 4 rushes forward while Battier and number 5 cautiously follow. Back in the building, number 3 has shot the young Asian guy in the stomach, but since she is not sure of his identity, she leaves him alive for the time being. She then rushes out of the building with an intention to kill everyone else using her gun, but number 4, who rushed ahead of the others, manages to hide near a staircase before she can find him. Just as number 3 reaches outside, an injured number 7 shouts at her. He is standing on his feet despite bleeding profusely. In a shocking twist, the young Asian man jumps from the building and crashes to the floor below, ending his own life. This forces number 3 to choose the correct hologram within the next 15 minutes or die. Thus, she makes her way back inside the building, only to be ambushed by number 4 in the hologram room. He snatches the gun from her, but starts getting cocky instead of immediately killing her. He suggests that they should make out while threatening her with the gun, but number 3 refuses, pointing out that the gun has no bullets. It is then revealed that she had loaded only a single bullet and hidden the rest. She then uses this momentary distraction and fatally stabs number 4's abdomen with a nearby steel rod. Shortly after, number 5 and Battier also arrive in the hologram room and find number 4 dead with the gun lying nearby. Battier immediately grabs it, but number 3 reveals that she has all the bullets. She then picks herself up and goes to the holograms. It is quite evident at this point that number 4 was the playboy, Carlos Santiago. Just as she presses the right hologram, Battier runs away, fully aware that it's the endgame now. Seeing this, number 5 grabs a nearby steel rod and runs after him. The 2 men soon meet on either side of the well in which the actress Barrington had fallen earlier. Using his persuasive skills, Battier convinces number 5 to wait out the rest of the time without any bloodshed. He throws the gun in the well as a gesture of his commitment to peace and asks number 5 to do the same. The latter thinks for a while and eventually gives up his weapon, but unbeknownst to him, Battier had earlier picked up a broken glass bottle and hid it in his pocket. Just as number 5 turns his back, Battier stabs him in the throat, leading to his painful death. Following this, the billionaire goes to the hologram room and correctly guesses that number 5 was the Russian oligarch, Boris Zondrelev. He then swiftly goes to number 3, who is rushed into the woods to hide. Once again, he uses his persuasion skills and convinces her to have a good time. While the clock runs out itself, the 2 then begin to make out, and when her guard is down, Battier stabs her throat with the bottle. In the final scene, Steve Battier, now the only man alive in the game, is declared the winner. After 10 hours of living in a young body, he comes out of the R.P.G. machine as an old man. Later, as he is chauffeured back to the airport, he looks into the car's mirror. Instead of seeing an old man on the verge of death, he sees the image of a young man looking back at him. This indicates that Battier now has renewed passion for living his life to the fullest, despite his old age. Even though not a single one of those geriatric idiots took the opportunity to get naked. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.